This conference will now be recorded.
Don't jinx me. Right, you're up.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. We have no guests, so public comment, review and approval of previous meeting minutes.
I was able to send these out, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to refrain from reading them.
Does anybody have any corrections or additions to the minutes that were mailed out?
No.
Have a motion to accept them?
I'll move to accept the August regular meeting minutes. Okay.
Then moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor? Both carried. Reports. Review of appeals and claims. Approval of claims.
The only claim that we will have is Dave's travel claim for $29.48.
Move to approve the travel claim for $29.48.
Yep.
Okay.
Been moved and seconded to approve the claim. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Excellent. So the treasurer's report of that, we have only spent $29.48 from his. Okay, so this will be my report. Are you ready for my report, Dave?
Yes.
Okay. All of our contracts have now been signed for 2025, so some of them offset, some of them start in July 1st, some of them start October 1st, so we are now successful in operating for 2025. We have all grants that we've had in the past.
Did the grants come in at the same level or?
Yes, one of them was decreased by about $5,000, and then so the FEP grant was decreased by about $5,000. That's the public health emergency preparedness one. Kind of expected it after a pandemic. Somebody's got to take a hit. And then another grant, we took about a $12,000 cut for just our office, but as a region as a whole was like a $40,000 cut. And that one was for the chronic disease outreach, so cancer prevention, tobacco prevention, community outreach, education stuff was cut. But then we saw a $500 increase in our maternal child grant, so they just kind of wax and wane all over the place, but for the most part pretty consistent.
This is going to make some challenges for the year.
No, because I'm not working very much this coming year. So no, we'll be fine. And we'll get to that in a minute. This year we did our strategic planning for all of the grants and kind of laid out what we're going to do for the year. We're focusing on personal responsibility, empowering the community to have personal responsibility, community engagement, out of office programs, and then maintaining just regular day-to-day operations. We recently, at one of our trainings this summer, were offered a game. It's called This is a Test, and it's a game for community resilience, community preparedness, operational preparedness, and it's basically a pandemic in a game to realize if your operations are good or a real one. And it can last a couple of hours. The state of Montana will help facilitate the game because you got to keep it moving, otherwise you'll last for days. It's like Monopoly, apparently. And so we're going to start with our office playing this game. So it's like learn by play, this game is. So our office is going to start with it, and then we're going to invite Kelsey with DES because it's good with 4 to 7 players, but no more than 7. So we're going to start just with us and see how we do as far as like for the county, and then maybe extend it to you guys if we want to play it someday, or just kind of use it in other LEPC meetings or other operational meetings. So that's going to be coming up. Again, we're going to try to promote community readiness. Communicable diseases are maintained and regular operational. We have no active outbreaks, knock on wood. We expect it to change though. Flu, COVID, RSV, there's been outbreaks of pertussis. We expect something to be coming, so we'll deal with that as it comes. It's immunization season, so we're out and about with flu shots, pneumonia shots, shingle shots. One thing that we try to do is anytime we're out and about, we take everything with us so that we can vaccinate for whatever people might need, make it really accessible to them. This last Sunday, we had our clinic here and offered walk-in immunizations, and it was well received. So that was nice. We did a radio campaign ad to help raise awareness for adult immunizations, trying to get that out because our numbers of immunizations have just plummeted across kind of all immunizations. So we're trying to revamp that so we can prevent things like a pertussis outbreak. And then we're partnering with a caravan to bring vaccines to the health fair, which is next week, next Tuesday, if anybody wants to check it out. We will be there with a caravan along with other cool things that we have. And we have a bomb giveaway. Again, back to community responsibility, reliance, like readiness kind of thing. So we're going to have a really great giveaway with that. And then we'll be headed with the caravan up to Sunburst in a couple more weeks. Let's see what else. Oh, we have a tabletop exercise coming up if anybody wants to participate. They're pretty fun. Some of the feedback that they heard was they need to limit time. Like, not everybody has a whole day to play tabletop. So it's only 9 to 11 on December 4th, and it's highly infectious diseases. And the more partners we have at the table, the more like resources and activities and things that we can talk about. The last one we did was with Ron, and he was a really fun player. So that will be we'll be advertising to partners later on if anybody wants to come. And then we'll talk about MOUs. So we have several MOUs with the state, counties, health departments, businesses, and then each grant has MOUs. And my schedule is kind of wonky these days, so I'm not in the office as much, and so these MOUs are kind of helping keep operations going if we need to lean on other partners to help with operations. We have these MOUs in place to help with that, and the grants cover those finance charges, I guess. So we're going to keep up to date with MOUs because they're vital for our survival. The one that we're tapping probably into the most is going to be our WIC MOU, where we'll partner with other agencies to help offer those services in my absence, as well as continuing them when I am here. And then maybe Ron will hit on this too, but just something cool to talk about that. The stuff that he does, which incorporates into one of our grants, the Public Health Emergency Preparedness Grant, are his inspections and his duties. So he did a total of 30 small food retail inspections. Large food, he did 20. Food manufacturing was 2. Public accommodations was 1, and we're at 100% for all of them, and then one of them has 88%, which is outstanding. So him getting his inspections done helps with our emergency preparedness stuff, basically our payments, which is very nice. So that's vital. And it's fun to see his numbers because we have more businesses here than you would probably think that he inspects. But maybe he can touch on that later. I'll probably catch him by surprise. Any questions for me?
Can you make that screen bigger, Blair? I can't read it.
Yeah. Well, we could
Okay, action items. Amendment to bylaws, section 1, final reading.
Yes. So this is the section that we're looking at changing to quarterly meetings instead of every other month meetings. This will be the final reading for that. So we'll go to quarterly meetings in February, which will cover, what was that, third or second quarter? Yeah, first quarter?
Fiscal year be the third.
Third of the fiscal year, because we start in July. So yeah, okay, so third. And so our February meeting will be the annual meeting and the regular meeting. And I have those dates that we can talk about next.
So I will make a motion to accept the amended bylaws as
Written, beautiful, close enough.
Then the motion presented in a second to accept the change in bylaws, moving us from meeting every other month to meeting quarterly. All in favor?
Okay.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Excellent. Can we just take a minute to appreciate this, because I'm super excited about it. Yes, and I feel like our bylaws are sitting real nice. Yeah. Okay, so let me pull up our terms. So Dave's term will be coming to an end, as well as Kristen's. So we'll likely reappoint you guys in February.
Do we still have that wording in there that you can't be reappointed after 3?
No, we got rid of that. We kept, so you can keep it going as long as you're willing, essentially.
And as long as there hasn't been somebody from at large that showed interest.
Sure, yeah. So we will, do we have to do anything with these now, or we just reappoint them in February? I don't know.
Probably should nominate at this meeting and approve on the following meeting.
Okay. That's you three. Oh.
Kristen.
Dave.
Oh, I nominate Kristen and Dave to be appointed in.
You're a quorum if we can't vote for ourselves.
Probably because
You could not.
we're voting
Yeah.
next meeting. We're just, and you're going to be taken out of it anyway, and we're only missing 2, so there's still out of the 5, we would still have enough, I would think.
I'm willing to serve again.
Unless there's someone else who really loves it.
And thank you guys, right? Thank you, because without members, it would be very hard to, thank you. So the,
Don't
DP,
need to vote on it.
oh, I thought we were voting next time.
I
Just
would do it
appointing.
now.
Accepting the nomination.
You should still get reappointed, or else then you're not on the board.
That's true, because there'd be a meeting
Yeah.
because they expire in December.
December, not February. Okay, excellent. Sorry to interrupt that.
Well, that's fine.
So Lisa
Who's
made
that?
the motion.
I'll make a second.
Excellent.
Then moved and seconded that Kristen and I retain our positions on the board. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
So this education to the Board of Health is still postponed. They're kind of vamping the system since there's been structural changes from the top down. So that's just kind of, we'll leave it there to maybe revisit it in the future, but it's on hold for now.
Did they give an approximate time when they'd be ready?
I haven't dug into it, to be honest. They just probably in the last month got a new administrator, and I think that they're probably feeling things out for a little bit.
Got other fish to fry.
Yeah, and to be honest, the guy that was leading it was fantastic, but he was very lengthy, and this was like an 8-hour presentation, and I told them you get their interest for like a half an hour, okay, like not 8 hours. So they need to condense and combine quite a bit, so they're revamping the whole thing.
Especially where they're presenting to a volunteer board.
Exactly. He could get quite lengthy, so we wanted to avoid that. So no plans in the near future. Okay, so I will pull up our next meeting date. That will look like for 2025. Oh my goodness. So February 11th. May 13th, August 12th, and November 12th, due to Veterans Day being on that Tuesday, is what we're looking at. And like with any time I send out stuff, if you can't make it, just maybe try to let me know, because the biggest thing is a quorum. And if we're not going to have a quorum, we'll just do something different. So just let us know.
Can we achieve a quorum with participation on phone?
Absolutely. Yes, most
There
definitely.
may be times that we can't come down, but we can be available by phone.
Absolutely. And with the Zoom, I can send you a Zoom link, and you can zoom in and turn your camera on, and we can just see like you were here. Yes, absolutely. But as long as I know that ahead of time, I can send out that link. I'm not just going to naturally do that. Excellent.
So we're waiting for Ron.
Are you sure he's coming or not?
I'm not. He is coming?
Yeah, he said he was coming. I forget his call.
And maybe we can just add in his stuff to the meeting. Can we do that if we adjourn? Probably not.
State, didn't we? I got a call anyway.
Oh, yes. So part of our FEP grant, Public Health Emergency Preparedness, we have to have a call tree because there's reportable conditions to us that are emergent and urgent after hours, right? Because nothing happens Monday to Friday 8 to 5. And so we have this call tree in place with the sheriff because they are always open, always able to contact them. So our call tree starts with myself, and then it's Darla, and then it's Terry. And the sheriff's office calls us, and calls, and if we don't answer, then they call the next one, leave a message, follow up. And so that was 2 weeks ago, maybe last week.
No, a week ago.
A week ago, of course, after hours. Friday, I don't even know. I got the call, I got the message, then they called Darla.
No, they called me.
Oh, then they called you.
And then they go to go.
And then they went to Darla. And so we all three responded and called the state back, because you have like a 30-minute window to call them back. And we all three responded, and we all three responded beautifully. And so we passed our little test. And if you don't pass it within that 30 minutes, then you have to redo it. And so we were able to pass it, and we were successful. And really it comes down to the sheriff's office. Like whoever dispatch is, by using the call tree, leaving a voicemail, because you can always, like if you leave a voicemail, it's important as far as I think. Mm-hmm. And like then continuing the line. So they have just done a stellar job with that. And we make sure to tell them that too. It was Marcy, I think it's Marcy. And she did a fantastic job. And they don't tell you when it's coming, and of course, you know, I don't always have my phone. I don't know about you, but anyway, we responded and did great. Things like anthrax is an emergency one, and there's like 12 of the reportable conditions that are emergent ones. So we've never had to activate it. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. The closest we've came so far was COVID. But that was, we didn't activate our call tree, they just called my cell phone. It's in a directory, but yeah, good times. So that tabletop in Macomb County, which is like Circle, is like the only town in Macomb, actually. They had a gastroenteritis outbreak that affected like 90% of their town.
Mm-hmm.
They had an obscene amount of cases and just like this huge outbreak. And not a lot of resources, right? They have one public health person, and you have to, you know, do all this stuff. And so I would imagine that this will be something similar to that kind of case, and it can just blow up really fast. And then of course it outreached. So in Circle there's a clinic, but like you have Wolf Point, Glendive, Glasgow, and Sydney, that they all, of course, then went to their, you know, stuff. And
This outbreak was the exercise or real?
no, it was real. It was real.
Was it water system?
I don't think they ever found a source. Here's the craziest part, is that they never were able to collect a sample, like a GI sample, to determine what, you know, what strain of bacteria it was or anything like that. And I think it was just so big and broad that they weren't focused on what caused it, because there was, doesn't matter how it happened, it's happening kind of thing. So
And it got just about everybody, so.
yeah, it did. It did. The schools, it was a disaster. One public health person. Wow. So,
How long were people sick?
you know, I don't remember, but it probably covered a couple. I can't remember.
But I mean, an individual was sick, how long were they?
Oh, it was probably only 4 or 5 days each one. Just like kept going. Incredible.
At the end of a long time, I suppose, to those people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of it.
Rough. And that's where the topic of MOUs kind of got brought up, because like if that was happening with one of our neighboring jurisdictions, like of course we'd offer to help out, because it's just overwhelming. You can't track, call, contact all those people by yourself, and the grants cover cross-line, you know, assistance. So that's
This is a local school county tabletop. Is the goal, or is it like a regional one?
both. So the state is hosting it and giving us the scenario, and you know, they'll zoom into us and give us talking points and keep the ball rolling. But we bring our local partners to the table to be like, okay, this is happening in our area, what are we going to do? You know, what is Ron's role to then our role to the lab's role to the clinic's role to, oh crap, it hit a facility and then we're in an outbreak, you know, and like just kind of bring all the parties together.
Do you think that's something that we will put on our calendar and try to?
Absolutely. They're pretty fun. And you can either zoom into it, but honestly, we're going to have it right here at our table. And it's, the last one we did, it was Ron, myself, and then Mariah's clinic, and it was fun. It was fun, and everybody brings a different perspective, a different thing that you're watching for. You know, like you know, you get into treatment availability, and then all of a sudden you're out of treatment options, and you can't get more. So then what do you do, and how do you protect your facilities? And it just they're pretty fun. And with it only being 2 hours start to finish, like we move along pretty quickly.
Now,
Yes, please come.
dealing with neighboring communities, if we get involved with Glacier County, where you have tribal medical versus Cook County Health. How does that boundary affect it?
It's like a hard line in the sand. Tribal always will take precedence, and then Glacier County just kind of assists them. But you're dealing with same population either on or off tribal land, and so we just kind of do what they need, and that's kind of what happened with COVID too.
Just assist as needed,
Yeah,
as requested.
exactly. Yeah, but tribal always takes precedence. Yeah. All right, Ron. I think we're ready for your report.
Well,
We're
I don't
happy
have
for
a
you.
whole lot. Working, I think I have in process or just barely completed like 5 septic systems, which is a lot at one time, but we're getting through them. Sunburst Mint did transfer ownership pending liquor license transfer. I met with gentleman Sean Sorensen, went through with him. Seems like pretty good. It's going to be a pretty good deal with. Went through what can and can't do under a bar license with respect to food. Basically, the items that I have approved for DD, he will be able to continue to do. And that's going to exclude the steak and lobster and crab and all that other stuff. So it was a very good meeting. Been working a little bit with Kelly Lohr on her new property for the Prairie Peddler, trying to do a plan review, beginning a plan review, and sort of sorting out how much she would be doing in addition to coffee, and it may or may not be anything in addition, probably not. Let's see, I got a call from, I can't think of her name, but it was related to a companion on Glockamora, want to start that motel that's on the upstairs of the bar. We'll have to start from scratch with a plan review. When I sent them the materials for the plan review, they decided to wait till spring. And let's see, I had a few complaints with respect to the Sagebrush Food Pantry. I've done some couple unannounced inspections over at the pantry. Was unable to confirm the complaints. Had a couple more, and I'm still working on trying to figure out totally what's going on as far as transporting food. I visited through email with Alicia, and we're just sort of in the process trying to figure that out. I guess that's about it. I've completed all of the inspections for the year, by the way.
Yay!
100% of those.
Good job. Thank
But I
you.
get to start all over on first of January.
Back to the mint bar, have they located a license or are they still searching?
For liquor license,
Yes.
it would just be a transfer.
They have found one or are they still searching?
Well, no, there is an
They have
existing
one.
one
Oh,
with
they have
DD,
one, they just have to.
and they just transferred that existing one, but it's got to go through that they told him 3 or 4 weeks, but I've seen him go up 6, 7 months. So it's just got to go through that whole process.
A long time.
But it may be a simple process. I'm not sure. They just got a lot of turnover. They've always taken a long time.
Everybody has an inbox they have to pull.
Depends on what they run into and I don't know, background checks and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Any questions?
Oh, excellent.
Sorry I was late with that conference call. I should have just come at 9. Seems just,
That's okay. That's all right. We're just glad to.
I thought they were going to go into detail on an issue that I've been involved with on honey processing with respect to raw honey, and they got all the way and had it on last. And when they got to that, well, we put together a new document. You'll find it when we put it on the community resource page. Any questions? That's what I waited for.
Excellent. Well, I think that's that.
So our next scheduled meeting will be February 11th for annual and regular meeting, 9 a.m. Have a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn the meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? See you in February.